Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. And unfortunately, Director Stone Manning and Secretary Holland have refused to hold hearings in the communities most impacted by this rule, which is what has forced this committee to bring these witnesses here so that their voices can be heard. Otherwise, those states, those communities would be silenced. It's clear that the b.l.m. has turned into a climate activist organization under this administration. I'm glad we're holding this hearing to uncover the unlawful and unprecedented actions taken by the Bureau. The proposed conservation and landscape health rule is just another example of this administration trying to take authority vested in Congress and place it with the administration's extremist agencies. This administration is threatening Montanans' access to public lands to advance their own environmentalist agenda. Changing the b.l.m.'s multiple use mandate without the proper input from Congress, as well state and county governments, is an unprecedented power grab. It will empower the Bureau to approve acreage limitations that could limit critical vegetation management and infrastructure maintenance projects on federal lands. Furthermore, this rule will mandate the b.l.m. manages for preservation rather than meet the multiple use mandate provided under the FLPMA. The fact the b.l.m. had only 75-day comment period for this rule shows that they are not serious about receiving public input on this issue, and why this hearing is so important so that we can hear from the people that are going to be impacted the most. The b.l.m. has also refused to provide the rural counties most affected by this rule with a chance to be heard. Instead, they're holding listening sessions only in the major metropolitan areas of Denver, Reno, Albuquerque, far removed from those stakeholders who feel the results from this destructive rule, when it clearly contradicts the intent and the language of the Taylor Grazing Act and the law. Rule cannot change law. The law is the law. I seriously hope that they will hold an in-person session in Montana, as I have urged. I'd like to start off with Commissioner Todd Devlin. Thank you so much for being here today. It's always good to see you. You mentioned in your testimony this proposed rule gives the b.l.m. a new ability to create a de facto wilderness study area of any size without the input of the state and county governments. What would be the short-term and long-term results of giving the b.l.m. this power in your county, which about 43% of it is currently owned by b.l.m.?
Thank you, Representative Rosendale, for the question. It's a good question that's difficult to answer, but I'll try to answer it from hometown point of view. My county is Bankhead Jones land. A lot of the federal land is Bankhead Jones, which means it's checkerboard ownership. It's not in blocks. The only block that we have in my county is probably the Terry Badlands Wilderness Study Area. Other than that, it's private, federal, checkerboard throughout. So by using the ACECs and conservation, if you take the federal land and put a conservation easement on it or protect it in some way that maybe restricts grazing or prohibits you from feasibly grazing because of the difficulty to take care of your cattle or sheep, it would be devastating. It would force private to go and get conservation easements. And then you have it all locked up. That's my personal opinion.
Thank you. Thank you. The new rule allows the b.l.m. to grant conservation leases of up to 10 years and unlimited sizes to tribes, nonprofits, individuals, and private entities, but not the counties and states. For what possible reason do you think the states and counties were excluded from this grant program?
Because we probably opposed it in the first place.
Very good.
Mr. Representative.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Mr. Chair, I'm on the button, so I will yield back.
The gentleman from Montana, the gentlelady from Nevada, Ms. Lee, is recognized. Thank you, Mr. Chair. It's great to see the witnesses today, especially my fellow Nevadan, Dr. Goycochea. Nice to see you. Thanks for being here. Before I get started, I just want to address Mr. Rosendale. I'm perplexed that Director Stone Manning and Secretary Holland are not here if it was so important to hear from them today, that they did not receive an invite. I also want to
Would you yield to
clear
a
the
response?
record. Pardon me?
Would you yield to a response?
Yeah, I'll yield.
What I said is that it's important to hear from the communities. We already know what the director and the secretary, what their initiative is. We know what their agenda is. I think it's important to hear from the communities,
Okay.
which is
Thank
why I
you.
was so
Now
stunned
I'll reclaim my
that they
time.
didn't hold
I'll
hearing
reclaim my
meetings
time
there.
now.
Hey, before you click on the next video, if y'all could do me a big favor and hit that like button. The algorithm loves it, and so do I, because it helps promote these videos and get the message out about what our government has been doing. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications, because every time I put out a video, you want to know about it, right? Thanks again, and have a good one. See you on the next one. Peace.